What's up, NASCAR Nation? The Cup Series is coming off its final off weekend of the regular season, and Sunday brings us the Iowa Corn 350 powered by Ethanol. And the odds makers are already telling us who they think is the man to beat. But Iowa has a habit of humbling favorites, so stick around, because this one's got some real layers to it. And hey, real quick, if you are a true NASCAR fan like me, go ahead and drop a like and subscribe to the channel. NASCAR Nation News is just getting started. We are pushing for our next subscriber milestone, and it's all about real talk from fans who live this sport every week. All right, let's get into it. Let's start with the headline. Denny Hamlin opens the weekend as the betting favorite for Sunday's race. That's according to DraftKings Sportsbook, which has him sitting at plus 400 odds. And it makes sense on paper. Hamlin's had another strong season that's kept him near the top of the Cup Series standings all year long. But here's the thing. Favorite status doesn't always translate to victory lane, especially not at this track. We'll get to why in a minute. Right behind Hamlin, you've got Christopher Bell and the defending Iowa winner, Ryan Blaney, both sitting at plus 500. Then Kyle Larson rounds out that next tier at plus 750. Now let's run through the rest of that top favorites list, because there's some notable names in here. Joey Logano and William Byron are both listed at plus 900. Chase Briscoe follows at plus 900. Sets Elliott sits at plus 1,000. And then you got Ty Gibbs at plus 1,200, with Tyler Reddick rounding out the top 10 favorites at plus 1,600. There's a pretty stacked group of contenders when you think about it. Multiple former champions, multiple playoff caliber drivers, all bunched up near the top of the board. Now, if you're the type of fan who likes to look a little deeper into the odds board, there are some sleepers worth knowing about too. Bubba Wallace opens at plus 1,800, Brad Keselowski follows at plus 2,000, and Carson Hocevar sits at plus 2,500. Then he dropped down to Alex Bowman and Chris Buescher, both listed at plus 4,000. Ross Chastain comes in right after at plus 5,000. And here's one that caught my eye. Ryan Preece enters the weekend at plus 7,000. Now, the article points out that he's shown speed on shorter tracks this season, so that's worth keeping in the back of your mind heading into Sunday. All right, now let's talk about why Hamlin being the favorite doesn't necessarily mean much at this specific track. Iowa Speedway is a 0.875-mile short track, and in its first two Cup Series events, it has produced two different winners. Ryan Blaney won the inaugural Cup race at Iowa Speedway back in 2024. Then last year, Hendrick Motorsports' William Byron secured the first place finish. Two different winners in two tries. That's the kind of history that makes this race genuinely unpredictable. And it gets more interesting when you look at Hamlin specifically. He is widely regarded as one of NASCAR's most accomplished short track drivers. But despite that reputation, he is still seeking his first Cup Series victory at Iowa, even as he heads into Sunday as the betting favorite. So you've got a guy who's excellent on short tracks, favored by the odds, but who hasn't been able to crack the code at this particular one yet. That's a storyline worth watching all on its own. Now let's zoom out for a second and talk about why this race matters beyond just Sunday. There are only 4 races remaining before the chase begins. That means every race from here on out carries extra weight, both for the championship battle and for the playoff picture. With that kind of timing, the article points out that this Iowa Corn 350 could prove pivotal. It's being called one of the most anticipated short track races of the season, and when you put it all together, it's easy to see why. So let's recap where things stand. Denny Hamlin's the favorite at plus 400. Christopher Bell and Ryan Blaney are right behind him at plus 500. Kyle Larson's at plus 700. And Iowa Speedway has produced a different winner in each of its first 2 Cup Series races, with Hamlin himself still chasing his first win there. All of that with the chase just 4 races away. So here's my question for you. Does Iowa's history of different winners make you more likely to bet against the favorite this weekend? Or do you think Hamlin finally breaks through? Drop your thoughts down in the comments. And that's going to do it for this one. If you enjoyed the breakdown, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one right here on NASCAR Nation News.